Hello guys, in today's video we are going to be fixing an MSI laptop that has an overheating issue. If your MSI Katana laptop is incredibly slow and your fans sound something like this, then that is a clear indication that there is insane dust buildup and also your thermal paste has probably solidified. So let's go and fix this laptop. This guide pretty much supports all MSI Katana laptops. That includes all the ones you can see on screen, like the GF66, the GF76, the GL66, the GL76, the 15, the 17, the A15, the A17, and even the new 15HX. I guess this guide does also support a few of the MSI Sword laptops, but the fan layout in that one is slightly different, but you can still pretty much follow it. Anyway, let's go and save this laptop from exploding. So this is an MSI Katana GF66, and to fix it you're going to need these tools. So some tweezers, maybe recommended, some brushes, definitely need these, a toothbrush will work, and also some thermal paste. I've just got some old thermal compound. You'll need some screwdrivers as well. A small Phillips screwdriver set like this is perfect. So let's go and take out all of the screws. So the MSI Katana does have 13 screws. They are all small Phillips head screws. A normal screwdriver set can definitely deal with this, and yeah, we're just going to go and take them out. Be very careful, don't strip them or anything like that. If they get stuck, you can always use a magnet to go and remove them. That's what I did. And once you've got all 13 screws out, you can then go and open the laptop by using a plastic pry tool. I'm just using a tool that I got with an iPhone screen replacement kit, but you can pretty much use anything. Even a Lego separator would work. So just carefully take off all the clips, and we can now go and take off the bottom panel. And as you can see, this is what the laptop looks like inside. So the first thing you want to do is just go and take out the battery, just in case you short anything out. I don't think you would, but better to be safe than sorry. And then we can begin removing all the screws on the fans, so the entire CPU and GPU cooler. What I like to do is draw a diagram, a very basic diagram. So then once I go and remove the screws, I basically put the screws on top of the diagram, so when I go and put it back together, it's very easy. The trouble is some of these screws are different lengths, so if you mess it up, you might run into problems. Anyway, once you've taken all the screws out, there will be two cables holding it in, and also a third cable wrapped around one of the fans that's for something else. It's this kind of like ribbon cable thing. I don't actually know what it is, to be fair, but just remove that anyway, just because when you take it out it might get tangled up. As you can see, it's kind of held in with that plastic clip thing at the side there, just at the side of one of the fans. So we're going to go and take that out, and once the whole cooler unit has been removed, you can then go and use your toothbrush or mini brush to just remove some dust. You can also use compressed air, that works pretty well. And I would also recommend trying to scrub off the thermal paste. You can either use a cloth, or if it's really like rock solid, maybe use a brush. You've got to be kind of careful you don't damage the CPU or GPU or anything, so don't rush it. But if your thermal paste is really stuck on there, just use a hard bristle brush. So then moving on, now we've got to clean the entire cooler unit, both of the fans, and we've also got to scrub off, or scrape off I should say, all of that solidified thermal paste. It's literally gone rock solid, which is kind of annoying. I think this has probably been on here for about 3 years, so using a brush will basically get it off. I wouldn't recommend scraping this off, by the way, because you can scratch your components very easily. It doesn't matter so much on the cooler, but be very careful on the CPU and the GPU. Anyway, once we've got that off, we do need to take the fans apart. There should be 3 screws holding each fan in. I'm just going to use a magnet to take these screws out because they are very small and very easy to lose, especially if you've got dust everywhere while you've been cleaning this thing. They are easy to misplace. But yep, 3 screws on the other side as well. I think this is the one closest to the GPU. Yeah, looks like it. So now we're going to flip it over, and we're just going to let the fans drop out. They might be held in by a bit of electrical tape, which you can replace. It doesn't really matter actually. The electrical tape for me actually had a ton of like dust stuck to it. It was almost like a piece of felt. So that's probably why this laptop's been overheating so much. That's been stuck like that for a good few years. So we're just going to peel the fan off, and then we're going to do the same to the other side. You don't actually have to replace this tape. I mean, you can if you want to. I just used the same tape because it was still a little bit sticky. Be careful with this metal as well. The metal brackets can bend very easily, but you should be able to bend them back into place. And so then guys, here's the fun bit, or maybe slightly disgusting bit. We're going to go and remove all of that dust that has been accumulating for many years, and yeah, it's kind of disgusting. All those dead skin cells, right? So go and get rid of that. You can give it a good tap. That seemed to work for me, just to get rid of the excess dust. As I said, you can use compressed air. I didn't have any on me at this time, but that's also good, as long as you don't spray liquid everywhere, because sometimes those can be a bit funny, especially if you get them from the pound shops. Anyway, so after dusting off all of the fans and putting it back together, let's go and put some thermal paste on our CPU and GPU. I'm using thermal compound, which is a bit different than thermal paste, but it pretty much does the same stuff. I think it's just less runny. I would use thermal paste, but this was just what I had lying around, so I thought I might as well use it. I've actually had it for a very long time, so don't overdo it. Just put a blob on each one and that should be fine. I always like to overdo it a little bit anyway, just because I'm dumb. But then we're going to go and add the fans back, making sure you get it the right way round, and also making sure those thermal pads are still on. If you peeled off your green thermal pads, you can try to stick them back, or you can find more on eBay. And so then we're just going to go and neatly position it on top, and as you can see, it slots in perfectly. So now what we can do is plug in both of the power cables to run the fans. Those plug into the motherboard very nicely. We can go and plug in that ribbon cable again and just tuck it under. Now we're just going to go and screw everything back together, including that bracket, and yeah, we should be good to go. As I said, guys, draw a diagram because you can follow it, and it's very easy that way. Even if you're a terrible artist like myself, I still find it helps out quite a lot of stuff like this. So then we're just going to go and plug in the battery. We're just going to quickly dust everything down with a cloth. As I said, if you've got compressed air, use that. Then we can just go and clip the shell back on, and we should be good to go. So this laptop was in such bad condition that every time it powered on, the fan would just come on after about 5 minutes, even if you weren't gaming or anything. So that definitely needed to be fixed. So now let's go and turn on the laptop, and as you guys can clearly see, the fans are not running. So that means it is working. If you want to test this out and if you want to put the fans on for a bit, you just do the FN and then the up arrow key combo to activate the fan. And there we go. That is it. That is how you repair an overheating MSI Katana laptop. Some other MSI laptops are also supported, but yeah, not too difficult. Kind of beginner friendly, right?